let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Woo-Young Lim, a faculty of economics department and the UG coordinator of the two programs that I'm going to talk about today, BBA in economics and BSc in economics and finance. So today's information sharing session consists of two parts. The first part is my presentation about our program, the brief ones, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, we're going to have Q&A sessions. And if you have any question in the middle, you can wait until we have Q&A session, or if you think it's appropriate, you can stop me and ask questions. So let me start, right? So this is the broad structure of our university, HKUST. We have different schools, and the Department of Economics belongs to SBM, School of Business and Management. Okay, so let me first talk about our department. So Department of Economics offer 3 different programs altogether. The middle one, BSc in Mathematics and Economics, is jointly offered with a math department in the School of Science. And there are 2 other programs, BBA Economics and BSc ECOF, and those are the main focus of today's information sharing. All right. So before I talk about our programs, let me first talk about economics. What is economics? Economics basically studies the allocation of resources. Okay, the importance of it is basically to say that, you know, if you want to allocate something, your resources and time to do something, that means you cannot do something else. If you think about what do you want to buy? Okay, you have money, but not too much. Okay, so if you want to buy one thing, that means you cannot buy something else. Okay? If you want to make something, that means you cannot make something else. If you choose economics to study, that means you cannot study something else because your time is limited. Therefore, any decision problem that involves this kind of trade-offs becomes economics problem. That means economics problem can be anything like consumption decision problem, production problems, government policy problems, investment, employment, growth, development, and central banking decision-making problems, etc. And one thing that I really want to emphasize about economics is that it is more of a set of analytical tools rather than a particular skills, which provide a unique way to understand and analyze economics and social problems. And also it helps you to achieve better personal and business decision-making. All right. And for those who are not very clear about whether you want to study economics or not, or somebody who are, having 2 different subjects that you like both, right? Here is one idea that I want to share with you why studying economics would be useful for your future, right? So now we all agree that we are living in a world that have changing a lot very quickly. Okay, what's happening today is not the same as what will happen tomorrow. Okay, nobody can really perfectly foresee our future. If you think about this in terms of your job skills and choices, the thing is that the required job skills are changing very, very quickly. Okay, many job advertisements in 2019, for example, required some skills that did not exist or were highly infrequent in 2007. And similarly, some skills required in 2007 becomes completely useless by 2019. The implication of it is that some skills required in 2020 will become completely useless in 2030. Now, you are choosing your major now in 2020 or 21. The important thing is that how does it really help when you find your job in 2030? What about in 2035? Okay, problem is that something we believe important right now may not be important in the future. And in the end, the question is, what major do you want to choose now? Okay, and I want to share the following, which is by a famous Harvard professor, David Deming. In his 2020 article, he basically shows the following. college graduate majoring in applied subjects, such as, I don't want to say those names, but those, applied subjects work in occupations with much faster rate of job skill change than the graduate majoring in broader field like economics, okay? And the relative earning advantage for graduates majoring in applied subjects is highest at labor market entry level, but it quickly declines rapidly over time. So it gives you some hint about why studying economics would be useful. Economics basically teaches you analytical skills and analytical mindset so that you can apply it to tackle many different types of social, business, decision-making problems. Okay, so let me move on. Then the question is, why HKUST but not some other places? Okay, the simple answer is that we provide you with a very good quality education. Okay, there's one thing I can share with you, the measure in terms of the ranking. Okay, QS University ranking in 2020 shows that we are ranked at #1 in Hong Kong, #3 in the Greater China, and #5 in Asia. Okay, of course, ranking is not everything, but it is a very good indicator of the quality of the education we provide to our students. All right, we have two different programs that we share today, BBA Econ and BSc ECOF. Let me spend maybe 2 minutes to explain the major differences between these two programs. First, BBA Economics, okay? It provides you with more flexibility to pursue double major. So if you are those who like economics, but also something else, if you want to study economics and something else, then BBA Economics might be a better choice. And it focuses on applying economics knowledge to a wider range of business environments. It gives you exposure to analytical framework and eventually broaden your view of the world. On the other hand, BSc ECOF program is more focused program. It provides a focused training on economics and finance. And it gives you very rigorous training on foundational knowledge. That means you should not be afraid of learning and using mathematical, statistical, and modeling tools. And it eventually enhances your confidence on dealing with complex data analysis and identifying causal relationships. Okay? All right, so after you pursue studying economics in our programs, what kind of job do you expect to get? So this is the brief summary of what we have found from 2019 graduate employment survey. Okay, so left-hand side, this is the pie chart with the BBA Economics. Right-hand side is the BSc ECOF program. And as you can see here, the large majority of the students in our program get a job in banking and finance sector. One noticeable difference between these two charts, left and right, is that on the left-hand side, other than banking and finance, there are many different options. Okay, service work, marketing, admin and management, and system analysis, etc. If you look at the right-hand side, the different kind of jobs our students get in ECOF is not as much as BBA Econ. Okay, it highlights the pros and cons of different programs. Okay, if you really need to get the more focused training, ECOF, and it will lead you to a smaller set of choices. BBA Econ, it is more flexible and it allows you to have the double major. Therefore, you may have more choices. Okay. If you are potentially interested in pursuing higher degree, okay, after you finish your bachelor's degree at UST in our program, you're interested in, for example, pursuing Econ PhD, some master programs, or even some other study like a marketing and finance, I can show you that our students pursue those opportunities and successfully arrive at one of the world-class, top-tier university in the world. For example, if you look at this table, starting from 2013 and to recently, many of our students pursue their further study in Chicago, Stanford, Columbia, Northwestern, Harvard, Cambridge, Penn State, Duke, and so on. We have much more examples, but those are selected samples, right? And one interesting observation is that our students are pursuing marketing PhD, for example, in Chicago or Cambridge, which shows that analytical training we provided in our program helps them to pursue some other majors later, okay? A few pieces of information that is potentially useful for your admission. So as you may know, we have two channels, program-based and school-based. Program-based admission, this is the rough idea of the score. So ECOF, we have 29 intake, 27 JUPAS, 1 JEE, and 1 international. The average score was 5.5 in 2020. And BBA Economics, 21 students, 16 JUPAS, 3 JEE, 2 international. The average score was 4.4. I have only a few minutes, so let me make it quicker. So this gives you a broad idea of the scores for ECOF program. We have the mean and lower quartile. We have different weighting system here. We give the weight 2 times for English and math compulsory, and others are just 1 standard weight. One thing is that we have best of either M1, M2, Econ, Chemistry, Physics, giving you additional 50% of the weight. Okay. Extended module of mathematics M1, M2 can be regarded as electives, but not other language subjects or applied learning subjects. Okay, so when you choose the electives, you need to be careful. This is the information for BBA Econ program. Median, lower quantile information is available here. We have the simpler weighting system. English and math have weight of 2, and best of 4 other subjects have the weight of 1. All right, another channel, school-based admission. The minimum scores for entering major programs in economics and econ finance would be higher than that of entering the school itself. So if you have a particular interest or you think you have a talent in economics, I suggest you put it as your top choice. And a safe way is to be followed by SBM as a second choice. And you can enter a program through the major selection channel. And remember, these are the code numbers you need when you have the program-based admission application or school-based. Okay, so how do you enter the program, ECOF or Econ, after you enter school-based admission? So in the first year, March, we have the information sharing session for the major selection, And then in April, you need to send the application. And in June, we have the announcement of the major. And starting from year 2 fall, you are transferred to ECOF program. The case of ECON program is slightly different because we have major and additional major. So first year spring, you're going to get information session, and you need to apply in the fall, November, for the major, and announcement will be made quickly. And there's a kind of second round for the additional major, year 2, June, July, and the outcome will be realized in mid-July. So this is the standard, major selection exercise. That is what I prepared today. So let me see if you have any questions. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Well, hello, everyone. So welcome to the Econ and ECOF session. This is Jessica from the admissions team. So thank you so much for Professor Woo-Young Lim for the introduction of the 2 programs. We are now opening the floor for the Q&A session. We actually got a few questions in the chat box already. First of all, it's about whether interview is a must for BBA Econ program. Well, interview is not a compulsory requirement for Econ program. However, we have to remind you that from this year onwards, the ECOF program, the Econ and Finance program, we require interview for admissions for JUPAS students. If you are not applying on the basis for JUPAS, then we will make a majority of the candidates will still be invited to the interview, whereas some admissions session may be made without the interview. Okay, so another question It's to Wu Yang. So program-based students, if they admit to the program-based through the program-based, can they still join the major selection exercise and change their major?
Maybe Hiram can provide more systematic answer than me. So let me invite Hiram. Thank you.
Yes, so hi everyone, my name is Hiram. I work for the econ department. So for the question whether if they join in, if they enter a UST with a major, can they change the major again afterwards? The answer is yes, they can. They are eligible to join the major selection exercise. So they can join that exercise after the first year of studies at HKUST. So there are typically more than one chance for them to apply and change to another major.
Thank you, Hiram. So another question in the private chat box is about the the programs. So to Wu Yang, well, they want to compare. Well, you have compared the econ and ECOF program, but some students also want to know that how should I choose between the math and econ and the two econ programs that you just mentioned?
My simple answer is that math econ program give you more rigorous training in mathematics, which would be very useful potentially if you would like to pursue PhD later. Okay. So think about it carefully. If you really think that you really like economics and eventually want to pursue PhD, then math econ program will give you very, very good preparation. If you think you want to study economics and eventually find a job in finance sector and other, practical sectors, then ECF program provide you with very rigorous training at the same time, but give you more flexibility. So that's my simple answer.
Okay, so another question is it true that BBA Econ focuses more on the theory, while the Bachelor of Science Econ focus more on calculation?
No, that is not true. That's a bit of misleading. So probably ECF program give you more theoretical training, and in terms of the plain language, people call it calculation, but it's more than calculation. Economics basically provide a theoretical argument to explain certain phenomena in reality. And therefore, learning theoretical discussion is very important. ECOF put more emphasis on this theoretical discussion. Okay, BBA Econ, of course, we give you the similar training, but we allow you to have more flexible choices and application as a focus. So that's the main difference. So my answer is that it's not really about calculation versus something else. It's about very rigorous part of the economics training that is a theory. Okay, and ECOF will give you more training on that.
Thank you, Professor Lim. Well, a private message. So Professor Lim said that it's more easy to enter the school for applying in the school-based rather than econ or ECOF program-based. Am I correct? Well, the answer is, well, we would say that actually in previous years, around 65% of students come to the business school through the school-based route. And then actually for each program, for each major, including the econ and ECOF, they reserve half of the seats of the major for students who join the business school through the school route. And then you can join the major selection exercise and then pick the major that you want. So actually that depends on whether you have a clear interest, whether you have strong interest in econ and ECOF at this moment. If you have, strongly encourage you to put the program in your application choice. For program-based applicants, you can actually put the school-based application choice in the application for concurrent consideration, and then to maximize the chance for admission as well. Okay, so another question is, well, what kind of students are you looking for? Any personality or requirements? Well, I think that this question, Professor Lim can help answer.
Yeah, the most important thing is like open-mindedness. You need to be open to study interesting social phenomena. And another important thing is whether you are keen on learning, analytical tool to analyze economic problems and social problems. If you are the students who like some other subjects, you're not really interested in how humans behave and how humans interact. and how human organization make decisions, then you need to study something else. But economics is about human behavior, making choices, think about trade-off, etc. Okay, I can see another question from the chat box asking whether economics requires very complicated calculus, and would you recommend finance or accounting? They are different subjects, basically. Accounting is not about human, okay? Finance is about human decision problem, but financial decision problem is a particular kind of human decision problem. Economics provide an analytical tool that allows you to analyze any human behavior, including financial decision-making problem. That's the difference. Okay. So in terms of the methodology, basically finance use the same methodology as economics. That's my short answer. Thank you.
Okay, so I got several private message about the admission, so I quickly go through it. Well, in terms of JUPAS admissions, we actually hold an interview in late May. That is a school-wide interview. For program-specific interview like the ECOF interview, it will be held in June. So if you have interest in the program, please include it in your JUPAS application band A at this stage. Otherwise, we will not be able to shortlist you. If you're international applicants, then we actually do our interview on a rolling basis. So we strongly encourage you to apply as early as possible. BBA Econ for GCE students, that's a British qualification. School-based wise, then we expect students to have around AAB. For programs like Econ, ECOF, we actually expect students first to have the further mathematics for economics and finance. And then we expect students to have A star, AA or above. Okay. Interview format, it will be more a group interview rather than individual interview. Okay. Probably a final question to Professor Lim. I would like to ask if BBA Econ also requires a lot of calculation or very sophisticated math skills.
My answer is no. Mathematics is a language that we use to analyze social phenomena and human behavior. The focus of economics is to analyze a human behavior rather than mathematics. We are not a mathematician. So as long as you understand high school level mathematics, okay, basic algebra, probably some concept of differentiations, integrations, that's it. If you understand some concept of limit, that will be enough.
Okay, thank you, Professor Lim. Thank you everyone for joining this session today. Because of the time limit, I'm afraid that we have to wrap up the session now. Well, there will be another 5 sessions of SPM programs concurrently holding right now. And then the faculty, program colleagues, and the admission officers will also be there to help address any questions that you have. So thank you everyone for joining again. Have a nice evening, and thank you, Professor Lim and Hiram.
Thank you, everybody.